Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, let's talk about something that drives all of us crazy. Why is it so incredibly frustrating when an app you know and love suddenly changes its entire design? We're going to dig into the source material and find out the science behind why we hate that so much. This tweet from a reader of the Nielsen Norman Group, our source for today, it just perfectly nails this huge tension in the world of design. It's this constant tug of war between what's comfortable and familiar and what's new and supposedly better. So, what's the deal? Is the secret to a great user experience just copying what everyone else is doing? It's a totally fair question. And to answer it, we've got to look past design trends and get into a really fundamental principle of how our brains are wired. All right, let's get into it. And it all really starts with an idea you've heard a million times. Practice makes perfect. But what does that actually mean from a scientific point of view? Believe it or not, we can actually map our improvement. A learning curve is just that, a chart that shows how much better, and usually how much faster, we get at something each and every time we do it. It's like a visual record of your brain getting smarter in real time. So the idea is super simple, right? The more you do something, the faster you get. But this simple concept has a pretty powerful scientific name, and trust me, it has massive implications for every single digital product we use. And here it is. This is the big one, the power law of learning. Now, this isn't some vague theory. It's a proven law about how our brains acquire skills, and it's been observed in countless experiments for over a century. It tells us our improvement isn't random. It follows a predictable mathematical curve. Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. Not all learning curves are the same, and this fact sets up a classic dilemma that forces designers to make some seriously tough choices. So let's imagine you've got two different designs for the same app. You've got design A, which is super intuitive, really easy to learn. You get good at it almost right away. Then there's design B. It's a bit more complicated. It takes longer to master, but, and this is a big but, once you do, you can become much, much faster with it. So, which one's better? Well, the answer is it totally depends on who's using it and why. For a task you do like once a year, say reporting some weird travel expense, design A is the clear winner. But for something you do 10 times a day, every day, like searching the employee directory, oh yeah, design B is the way to go in the long run for sure. And this brings up a really crucial point about how we even talk about this stuff. You've probably heard someone say a complicated app has a steep learning curve, right? Well, that's actually completely backwards. If you think about the graph, a steep curve means your skill is going up fast. That's a good thing. What we really mean when we say that is that it has a long, slow, kind of shallow learning curve. All right, so all of this builds to the central conflict, the big problem that every single new app or website update runs into. This is where that power law of learning really hits home for all of us. And it boils down to this one simple, powerful fact, something called Jakob's law. Your users spend most of their time on other websites. This is maybe the single most powerful force in all of user experience design. Your product doesn't exist in a vacuum, right? It exists in the context of everything else a user has already learned. I mean, really think about that. Because of the power law of learning, your brain has already practiced common web conventions thousands, maybe millions of times. Things like the logo being in the top left, or a search bar at the top right. These patterns are at peak efficiency in your memory. Any new design, no matter how brilliant, is starting from absolute zero on that learning curve. And this illustrates the core problem perfectly. An innovative new design isn't competing on a level playing field, it's in an unfair race against a pattern the user has already mastered. So of course the new design will feel slower at first. The old way is completely automatic. So what does this all mean? Is innovation just doomed? If the deck is so heavily stacked against new ideas, should we all just stick to the same old boring layouts forever? Well, not necessarily. The source material gives us a really clear way to think about this, a kind of decision tree. Before breaking convention, you have to ask 3 questions. First, is the new way so much better once you finally learn it? If not, just stop. Second, will people actually put up with the initial pain to get there? If they're just going to quit, again, stop. And third, can you do anything to help them learn faster? If you can, then maybe, just maybe, you've got a shot. And we see this play out in the real world all the time. Innovation can succeed, but usually under specific conditions. Apple can completely change iOS because, let's be honest, we're a captive audience. We have to learn it. A new design for software at your job can stick because you're forced to use it every day, accelerating that practice. And sometimes an idea like the hamburger menu gets adopted so widely, it becomes the new familiar pattern.
So, the power law of learning gives us a whole new lens to look through. That frustration you feel when an app changes isn't just you being difficult, it's a real, measurable cost. It's the cost of climbing a brand new learning curve. So, the next time an app updates on your phone, you can ask yourself, is this cool new feature really worth the time and mental energy it's going to cost me to learn it? And now, you'll understand the science behind your answer.